hospital. In 2014, he was convicted with 4 cases of assault. In this episode of Jim'll Fix It from 1976, Rolf is the celebrity guest.
All right, so basically the guy on the left is Jimmy Saville. Jimmy Saville, of course, after he passed, it came out that he was the UK's most prolific child predator, and he actually had places in girls' schools. These schools for like disabled children and handicapped, children with psychological problems, psychiatric problems. He actually had some type of job in the country where he was actually like a top member of these schools, and he had his own office in these schools. So he had his pool of victims right there. So after it came out, all of these disabled people from the hospital, came out, and it's crazy. And this guy on the right he was also convicted of touching children. So it's crazy in retrospect to see them touching this child.
At one point, they each have a hand on a participant's shoulder. There's nothing overtly wrong with this picture, but knowing what we now know, it's chilling to see. Episode of Have I Got News for You from 1999, panelist Saville is the cause of some awkwardness. When asked what he does in his caravan, he replies, anything I can get my hands on.
What do you do in the caravan?
Anything I can lay my hands on.
The audience might laugh, but Ian Hislop doesn't look amused. When Saville ventures that he is feared in every girls' school in this country, the laughter is even thinner on the ground.
I'm feared in every girls' school in this country.
Yeah, like I told you, he had some position where he was like, and the royal family blessed him with a position, and I think using that position, he's able to have this certain.
Imagine what would happen if every person
influence within the hospital system, and this particular hospital system was servicing disabled children, so he was molesting disabled children.
Get the evidence to catch him. I didn't realise the whole world around him had to change before the truth could come out.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're discussing the untold story of Jimmy Saville. For this video,
tell Jim what they want fixed, and he will make their dreams come true.
True to his reputation, Saville dismissed them.
It was a very widespread rumor.
So yeah, man, it's like everybody. England is about 60 million strong, so he was a huge star. Everybody loved him. You know what I mean? And it took him to age and die before everything came out. You know what I mean? And he's England's most prolific child abuser, and he was basically given impunity by the royal family. You understand? So it's like, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. And Louis Theroux's most emotional documentary was the one with Jimmy Savile. He's the dude from England. Look, Jimmy Savile, A British Horror Story. This dude was a horror story. You know what I mean? Man, this guy was weird, man. And he had so much influence and everything when he was alive, man. He was so odd and weird. And it was like, people just didn't understand. Or people had suspicions, but the BBC was so powerful. And he was a friend. He got blessed by the royal family.
Also said, and I will never forget this because I think reflects a theme that we now know was common among Saville's victims. She said, who's going to believe me, an ex-approved school girl, against Jimmy Saville with all his fame, all his money, and being a house guest of Margaret Thatcher at number 10 and Chequers.
Yeah, he was a house guest of Margaret Thatcher.
And with hindsight, one knew that she was probably right. Although we didn't run the story, some weeks later, I had a phone call from a QC, George Carman, at the time, the most famous libel QC in Britain.
The suspect would generally, surely, always be taken to a police station where they would be interviewed under caution. So
look at him, man. He looks so odd.
Made it unusual immediately. And again, probably emphasised that the person in control of that interview was Jimmy Saville.
Man, look into him, man. Crazy. Peace.